So Tencent acquires 20% stake in Shift Up. Alright, let's have a look at this. Okay, let's first have a look at the article from Gematsu itself, right? 20%, I don't know if 20% is a lot or not. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it could be a lot. It depends on how many, where the other 80% is, right? I don't know like how many, like the shares are divided by how many in the company. Usually like this is the public one, right? But 20% is like nothing to scoff at. Okay, so what is this? Tencent acquires 20% stake in Shift Up. So Chinese conglomerate Tencent has acquired 20% stake in Shift Up, the Korean studio behind mobile games Destiny Child and Goddess of Victory Nikke, as well as the upcoming PlayStation 5 title Stellar Blade. After the stock acquisition, Tencent is the second largest shareholder after Shift Up founder Kim Hyung-tae. So Tencent is the second largest, not the largest. Tencent subsidiary Level Infinite is already the global publisher of the science fiction RPG shooter Goddess of Victory, which launched via iOS, via App Store and Android, via Google Play on November 4 worldwide. Now, I'm not sure this is going to affect anything, but definitely think about it. If you are the CEO of a company and you are located in Korea, I think you would have done the same because you want to get into the Chinese market, to get into China. And I think working with Tencent or working with anyone from China is probably going to be the best. This is your best shot to get your game into China. So I know some players might not like it. Some players might be against this because when games got moved into China, maybe there's censorship whatsoever. But I understand that that's a different topic. But I do think what the company has done, what Shift Up is doing now, is just the nature of how things work. To be able to market your product in China, you need help from, like a Chinese company. That's just how things are, right? It's nothing exceptional. It's nothing crazy. This is, I would say, to be expected somewhat. 20% is nothing, but at the same time, it's a decent amount, especially for income of company making millions. Now, whether or not Tencent is affecting business decisions for Shift Up, is affecting the price, that one I'm not sure. Alright, I'm not sure if the global price, like some of the things, like let's say people have been saying about the price, right? The package in Nikke, for example, is like $20, $30, the pass $20. The value of the package is like very high, for example, or the rates, those things, whether those things are affected, I don't know. I don't know who is affecting it. Is Tencent influencing? Are they influencing Shift Up into changing it a little bit? Because I've heard something about moles, for example. Right now, if you guys are not aware, the moles in the game, right? It's like, it's not CBT players, back then when they played the game, it was 100%. And then now, it's no longer 100%. The moles are like 60% or something. 50% for like the pilgrim moles and every moles, which I know can frustrate some players. But then you shouldn't use something from CBT because CBT can be, can always be bound to change. So it is what it is. So let's see what other players have to say about this. Tencent now truly have their hands on a lot of things. Can't wait to see how they'll F it up. So for those who are in copium, the Nikke will be like Destiny Child, lewdness, and generosity. You might as well drop the copium because it's Destiny Child that will be like Nikke, Lamau. I got 1 SSR out of 7 high quality modes. It's absolute BS. Well, I think we all do. Alright, like you're not the only one. You're not the only one that's unlucky. Same for me as well. The other day I opened 3. I'm going to post a video for it for sure. It's a little bit upsetting. But hey, it is what it is. Destiny Child already got censored lol. But they do have a separate uncensored version on TapTap, unlike Nikke. Well, Nikke is still new. Like I wouldn't put it behind us that we won't get any uncensored version. Maybe that will come in the future. But right now, the company's focus is not on releasing an uncensored version. Obviously, they need to finish, fixing all the bugs, and there's a lot of other things that they need to be worried about. This is probably the least of the priority right now, right? After about 4 to 5 years. My main point is, oh wait, Destiny Child only got it after 4 to 5 years. Okay, my main point is DC already got censored. Doom posting about censoring is redundant, alright? After 2 years, KR version was released uncensored, and it still is. Global was censored, but after 1 to 2 years, they released an uncensored version on TapTap. If I remember correctly, they also own some part some part of every other big companies, including Riot Games. This one I am aware of, is true. Tencent do own a big part of Riot Games. Epic Games, I'm not aware of that, but it's kind of interesting that they own Epic Games, or a big portion of Epic Games. That means Fortnite is effectively being affected by Tencent. Bluehole, I have no idea what the heck is a Bluehole. Ubisoft, okay. Activision Blizzard, okay, I've heard of that. And it's either invested on own part of Discord and Reddit. Kakao also. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Does that mean Tencent own 20% of your grandmother? Ooh, your grandmother! Tencent owns 20% of your grandfather. And your grandfather owns 20% of your grandmother. So that makes it 20 out of 20%. The issue is the fact that Nikke was already published by Tencent. Shift Up was already heavily chafing under Tencent censoring, wanting bugs to be left in the game, to get people talking about the game, extremely stingy monetization. This doesn't bode well for Nikke at all. And I imagine Destiny Child is going to be hit pretty hard. There's two sides to this. Tencent wants a cash cow, while simultaneously ignoring the fact that censoring and stinginess is actually losing the money, while on the other side, Shift Up just wants to do another loot game. Actually, this is not true though. They're clearly earning money, right? Like you can see the Christmas, like we have to wait the end of this year, right? Like you can't just say that, oh, censoring is not making the money just because you don't want to buy the pulls, or you don't want to pull for the 2 characters that censored, or whoever, right? That doesn't mean everyone is, right? So we can always check, like clearly there's no fact about this, right? There's no, I would love for him to be able to prove that censoring and stinginess is actually losing the money. I wish this was the case, but I don't think it is, you know? That begs the question as to why Kim made the deal with the devil. Once again, he could have teamed up with a lot of other publishers, some of which are also Chinese, and not as censorious, along with the native Korean publishers. Because he probably don't know that it's gonna get censored. When you team up with the company, you probably won't know. Like how would you know, right, what is gonna happen, right? Like most of the time it's just you think it's a good idea, it's a good I feel like they did, based on revenue, they did pretty well. So that's all the thing that matters, right? Okay, did no other publisher want to touch the game? You're telling me Nexon didn't want a hand on what could have been an easy cash cow because of the massive amounts of TD and S? Nexon! Ooh! It makes absolutely no sense. This is just luxury entertainment, but I am Korean by blood, so it baffles me even more that Kim himself made the decision to make a deal with the devil when there were clearly alternatives in the market, such as Nexon. Wow. That must have been a giant wad of cash Tencent threw down to buy this stake. Tencent probably threw down a wad of cash, sure, but only one other publishing company in the world is as big as Tencent, and that's Sony. Nexon, to use your example, would have had nothing to offer Shift Up if Tencent had already made an offer. Not when Nexon doesn't even have a quarter of Tencent's revenue. True. I have no real way of knowing this, but I'll be willing to bet that Shift Up figured that Tencent would see Destiny Child success and just let Shift Up do its own thing with little oversight from the publishing giant. Only in typical Tencent fashion, Tencent started butting its nose into every part of Shift Up's development of the game because Tencent is not interested in anything outside milking its consumers. And by that time, it would have already been too late for Shift Up, as the contract would have been signed by the time Tencent started its BS. Wow, so much essay, man! It's incredibly sad too. The game is extremely stingy when it comes to content. There's already a great wall of China heights of paywalls blocking people from finishing the hard mode content. Free-to-plays are already being left behind in the dust. Premium currency sources for free-to-plays are near non-existent. You get no discount for a 10 pull. Tons of shit is broken, which makes some characters OP and others worthless, etc. It pains me that there is so much potential in this game. This game scratches a bunch of itches I have. Waifus. They have a crazy thick proportions with live 2D, jiggle, physics, time crisis style, cover shooting, and a relatively time-friendly content that lets you play up to 15 to 30 minutes a day, and if you want, still be able to keep up. Feels like we're dealing with 2000s Activision all over again, only this time. These efforts have the backup of the CCP. Whoa. So yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to go. But for me, it's not going to affect me. I'm still going to play the game because I enjoy the game, right? I get it. Some people They don't like a company, so they're not gonna play the game. I can respect that, but for me it's like, you know, like at the end of the day, as long as I'm having fun, plus I've already like invested, you know, I'm already investing $20. $20, a lot of money, guys. $20.